Gotta keep playing Pokémon Mystery Dungeon to make that video. Let's keep going. I can't do this. I can't do this. This game is too hard for me. Hey guys, what's good? It's Frey. How do you like my new haircut? Recently, there's something good happening recently to me, so I've decided to go with a nerdier look. I was really trying to find my Pokemon t-shirt to make this video, but I didn't. So instead, I found this. Let's put that on for the rest of the video, and yes, let's get started. Okay, before we get started, I would just like to say, yes, I know it's been like close to a week since this game has came out, and yeah, I haven't got to reviewing it because it's devastating. It's truly devastating in the sense that I just can't play this game. I have not played enough in terms of hours to review this game, I don't feel like, but in terms of content, I think I got you covered. Conclusions first, if you are an adult gamer and you have a proper taste for gaming, don't buy this game because you are I would say 99% not gonna enjoy it. That's it, let's get to it. Okay, before we start, a little background. Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is a remake of the 2005 Game Boy Advance titles being Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Red and Blue, and it's the first Pokémon Mystery Dungeon game to come out since 2015 on the 3DS. For me personally though, this was an experience with the game since 10 years ago. The last time I played this was back when I was in primary school on my Nintendo DS. So I picked this game up last Friday without knowing much about this game at all, and it wasn't the most entertaining experience when I made my first impression video. Later on in that day I played around 3 more hours of the game, and yeah, it's a little something, it's alright, but at that stage it was fine. 4 hours in, it was just fine. And then, things started to seriously fall off a cliff, like a hard cliff. Let's start with the story first. So you enter the game as a human that somehow found his or her way into a Pokemon's body before the game started. The system will ask you a few questions and recommend you to be a certain Pokemon. Out of the 15 or 16 Pokemons you can choose. Not that that matters because you can literally just say no and then pick whichever Pokemon you want to choose, so I didn't really know the purpose of that personality testing. Like, I feel like I'm studying psychology for a split second. So you picked which Pokemon you want to be and you picked your partner Pokemon, and the story starts and you, like the title suggests, form a rescue team that solves Pokemon cases in a world with no human, only Pokemons. You start by solving a case with your partner Pokemon, and from that day onwards, every day is just about doing some cases and saving Pokemons. Ironically, it's a bit like Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, which is one of my favorite Switch games or games on any given platform of all time, period. You take cases, solve issues, battle Digimons to do missions, get rewards, and rank up your sleuth rank and progress. Now, let's look at Pokemon. Take cases, solve issues, battle Pokemons, get rewards, and rank up, progress. Sounds all good, right? Right? Nah, no. The problem with Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is that the game just feels overly, excessively, incredibly, exacerbatingly. The last one's not a word I was looking for, I was out of words. Anyways, the game just feels incredibly simple. And by that, I don't mean the mechanisms or difficulties of the game. Well, actually, I mean both those things, just that the core mechanisms and the core of the game is just way too simple for any adult gamer to enjoy. Like, let me take you through a day of life of a rescue team Pokemon. So every day you wake up in the morning, meet your partner Pokemon, go to the bulletin board, pick up some missions, choose the dungeon you want to enter to complete the mission. You enter the dungeon. The dungeons are more or less the same, just a few boxes connected by narrow roads. There are a couple of items on each floor, and depending on what quest you have, on some floors there's a quest Pokemon. You walk up to that Pokemon, you click a button, say hi, teleport him out of the picture. That's one mission done. Then you go to the next floor, and if you have a quest on that floor, then the same thing continues. Now, you may ask, what about the battles, Ray? It's a Pokemon game. Surely there's gonna be battles in this game, right? Well, yes, from the most fundamental and basic standpoint, yes. So on each level there are randomly spawned enemies that could run into you, and yes, the game does give you the option to choose exactly which move you want to use, but based on my experience, just press A because the game will pick the best attack for you anyways. So the whole battle mechanism, no, the whole game is you running into a Pokemon, press A, run into a mission Pokemon, press A, run into an item, walk over it and pick it up. A couple of floors later you're like, oh, I've done all the missions on this dungeon. Leave, collect some rewards that don't really matter anyways, get some rank points that allows you to do more missions, and that's it. Good job, the day has ended. And tomorrow, the exact same thing continues. Even when you have main story quests, it's just you going to a different dungeon with different Pokemons, but the core, all the same. Does my description sound boring, repetitive, and even frustrating up to a certain level? Because that's exactly how I felt playing this game. If you know how to describe this game in a more interesting way, please let me know. Apart from everything I just said in like the past 2 minutes, there's only two more things worth mentioning in this game, and that is the dojo mechanism and the recruitment mechanism, which both are really easy to explain. So let's get to it. The dojo is literally another dungeon. But this time with a time limit, only one Pokemon can enter to fight as many enemies as possible in the 50, 55, or 60 seconds you get, depending on which dojo ticket you hand them. And you gain a massive amount of EXP. Yes, it's just a place to grind up the level of your Pokemons. Nothing else, nothing special, just nothing. At all. The recruitment mechanisms work similarly. So in the process of exploring dungeons, you may defeat Pokemons, then they admire you and want to be your friend. But you can only bring up to 3 members on the party, so each Pokemon you want to recruit needs to have a certain camp depending on what Pokemon it is. So with the money you earn, you buy those camps, and through leveling up your rescue team ranks, you can fit more Pokemons in each camp. And there you go. In like what, 60 seconds, 90 tops, I explained the only mechanisms in the game that's worth mentioning, apart from the core gameplay. Good on me? No, it's really just that simple to explain. Ah, yes! Did I mention that this game has a lot of post-game content? Like, more post-game content than actual main story content? That's normally a good thing, right? Not in this game. The post-game content of this game mainly composes of 3 things. First, more dungeons, which are, again, the same. Secondly, the ability to add legendary Pokemons to your party. Whatever. And thirdly, the ability to evolve your Pokemon. I could actually not believe this the first time I read about it, because I played for around 5 to 6 hours in. My Cyndaquil was like level 20 something. I was like, it's not evolving. Does this game have an evolution mechanism? I was like, eh. So I googled it and I saw IGN's review, and they're like, oh, you need to finish the game to evolve your Pokemons. I'm like, all of them? They're like, yeah, all of them. And I was just like, I'm sorry, what on earth? Like, who on earth thought that was a good gaming design? Unless you had nothing to put in your game. Oh. I think I just figured something out. Ah, yes. How can I forget to mention one of the key mechanisms of this game, and that is auto mode. When you are exploring dungeons, there's this mode called auto mode, and as the name suggests, it allows you to click a button and the game will search the dungeon automatically and only stop you when you need a battle. So I was trying to prove a point. I sat down, had Pokemon the anime on one side of my screen, and was playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon on the other. For a whole level, I just went like auto mode, press A, auto mode, press A, and auto mode, press A, and yada 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 yada. And I was able to do that for like 25 minutes without having to do anything else. Sounds like fun? If it does, then I'm sorry, you can't possibly be over the age of 10. And if you are 10 years old, then whatever makes you happy. Look, I'm not trying to say this game has nothing good about it. Well, yes, I am, but look, the music and visual design of this game is on par. It's just that the gaming mechanism has not changed at all, and looking through the perspective of an adult and someone living in 2020, it's just so lazy, and I won't take it. I will not take the excuse of, this is a kid's game, because I'm not stupid. I was a kid, and trust me, I'm not going to be able to convince 10-year-old me to play this game for the advertised 150 hours to 100% this game. That's not happening. When I was 10 years old, I was playing games like Ocarina of Time. I was playing the earlier Pokemon main story games, and they are actually difficult. I was not playing something like this, where I just go auto mode, A, auto mode, A, auto mode, A. Hey, maybe kids are different nowadays, but for me, just no. I was initially gonna recommend this game for kids if you have kids, but no, there are just so many other games that's better, even for kids on the system, that I don't see how I can recommend anybody putting that $60 US or 90 Australian dollars for this game, even if it's 150 hours to complete. 100%. I don't care. It is not worth your $60 US. It really isn't. Normally I try not to go so subjective on this game because, you know, for most of the is it worth it videos, the answer is always it depends. Well, this is a rare case where it's not it depends. This game makes Pokemon Sword and Shield, a game that inherently disappointed me, feel like a treat from Game Freak. So, you know how bad it is? Subjectively, I don't recommend anybody buying this game, even if your 10-year-old kid is like the most diehard Pokemon fan ever and has, you know, the mental age of like a 3-year-old kid. I still wouldn't recommend this game. Buy all the other games on the system. They are just so much better. All that being said, I gotta say, I know it's not Game Freak, but Pokemon the IP has again disappointed me. And as someone who's loved Pokemon for 15, 16, 17 years, I'm 20 years old, I gotta say, since 2019, Pokemon the IP has not stopped in disappointing. First Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, the game was very disappointing compared to its previous installments. I made 2 videos regarding that. And then the Pokemon new anime series came out, and I bloody hate the new protagonist Go. He does not only make the whole anime feel like Pokemon Go, but at the same time, Go, essentially is one ball man. And now, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon as a game is not doing the IP any favor. It just seems like subjectively for me, the quality of Pokemon related products since 2019 has been dramatically decreasing. I've never been so disappointed with the IP for such extensive periods of times. You know, throughout X and Y, I loved both the anime and the video game. Sun and Moon, I actually liked the anime, though I didn't like the game as much. Whereas now, it's kind of just like nothing. So yeah, all hopes on the DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, given how broken a game Pokemon Sword and Shield is. I hope the DLC doesn't disappoint me. Please don't disappoint me again. Alright, anyways, with that, that's all my thoughts on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I even gave a few thoughts at the end about the IP in general. I love the IP, I still do, and I hope for the best of it. So, let's talk in the comment section down below. How do you feel like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, or even more broadly, Pokemon as an IP did since 2019? Did you pick up this game already? Did you like it? If you haven't picked it up already, did I convince you not to buy this game either for yourself or for your kids? Let's talk in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!